Hi, this is Eric Pratt with Gun Owners of America, and I'm so excited to be here with Congressman Ben Cline of Virginia, who has introduced really important legislation, the Hearing Protection Act. Just for people who may not be familiar with it, could you just briefly explain what it is and why it's so important?
Well, thanks, Eric, and it's great to have GOA working with this office. We strongly defend Second Amendment rights, and I've been a strong defender since my time in the State General Assembly in Richmond, but this bill would further Second Amendment rights by removing suppressors from the National Firearms Act, which would remove it from federal taxation and those registration requirements that accompany it. So it's an important protection for gun owners, but it's also a health issue.
Yes.
It's important for folks to protect their hearing. If they want to be able to buy a suppressor, they shouldn't have to go through hoops put forward by the federal government to do that.
So, and I love that. While it does protect hearing, do you find that you're having to try to convince some of your fellow colleagues that it's not like the movies where it makes a gun completely silent?
Well, I think there are a lot of people, mainly on the other side of the aisle, but some on my side of the aisle who aren't as familiar with suppressor technology. But it does help protect hearing,
Absolutely.
and that's ultimately should be up to the purchaser and the citizen to be able to decide what's right for them.
And I love the fact that it's going to get rid of the registration and destroy all the previous registrations. So there's a lot of Second Amendment legislation that's been introduced. What do you think are the chances that HPA gets across the finish line and onto President Trump's desk?
Well, I think the chances are good. For the first time in my time on Capitol Hill, we have the White House, the House, and the Senate. And so pushing it in the House, the Senate has numerous supporters pushing it in the Senate as well to include it in reconciliation legislation, Trump's big, beautiful bill. And I know that Trump is a supporter of Second Amendment rights. GOA's help has been critical to the success, to the 81 co-sponsors that we've added to the bill, and to making sure that the Second Amendment Caucus, which is such a critical group that I'm a part of in the House, is making the bill such a priority.
Well, it has certainly been a pleasure working with you on this and to generate support. Just speaking to the viewers, how would you encourage them to help get this across the finish line?
Contact your legislators, your senator, and your representative. Urge them to sign on as a co-sponsor and to encourage leadership to include it in reconciliation, because if we can do that, then we can make sure that it's part of the one big beautiful bill that Trump signs later this year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congressman Cline, we really appreciate it.
Great.